Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Well, crime drama this hour, another episode of Calling All Cars. This goes back 84 years to January 6, 1939, and the case of the grass skirt. And we thank you for tuning in on this Friday, 6th day of January, and we have 359 days remaining until we get to the end of the year. Samuel Morse first tested the electrical telegraph on this date in 1838. Washington National Cathedral, chartered by Congress in 1893, the charter signed by President Benjamin Harrison. Maria Montessori opened her first school and daycare center for working-class children in Rome in 1907. Happy birthday, New Mexico. You were admitted as the 47th state of the Union on this date in 1912. In 1929, Mother Teresa arrived in Calcutta to begin a legacy of work among India's poorest and diseased people. In 1930, the first diesel engine automobile trip completed, Indianapolis to New York City. And in 1931, Thomas Edison submitted his last patent application. A Porky Pig premiered in the movies on this date in 1936. In 1941, Franklin Delano Roosevelt delivered his Four Freedoms speech in his State of the Union address.
In the future days, which we seek to make secure, we look forward to a world founded upon four essential human freedoms. The first is freedom of speech and expression everywhere in the world. The second is freedom of every person to worship God in his own way everywhere in the world. The third is freedom from want, which translated into world terms means economic understandings which will secure to every nation a healthy, peacetime life for its inhabitants everywhere in the world. The fourth is freedom from fear, which translated into world terms means a worldwide reduction of armaments to such a point and in such a thorough fashion that no nation will be in a position to commit an act of physical aggression against any neighbor anywhere in the world.
FDR on this date in 1941. Pan Am Airways became the first commercial airliner to have a flight go around the world. Daylight savings time commenced nearly 4 months early in the U.S. on this date in 1974. President Carter signed the Chrysler Loan Guarantee Act on this date in 1980, permitting the federal government to guarantee $1.5 billion in loans to Chrysler from private sources, provided they could find an additional $2 billion in commitments or concessions to be arranged by Chrysler for the financing of operations.
This is just a great day for a lot of people who work very hard in Detroit, and we're going to make the most of it. We're going to merit the confidence of everybody in this room, given about 6 months a year of hard work.
Chrysler Chairman Lee Iacocca, the bailouts kept Chrysler going for a number of years. Amid great secrecy, Dan White, the man convicted of killing Mayor George Moscone and Supervisor Harvey Milk in 1978, released from prison on this date in 1984 and began serving a 1-year parole in Los Angeles County.
Yesterday was the last day that Dan White could spend knowing he would live through that day. Today, Dan White starts a life sentence And I'm sorry to say, it's not going to be a long one.
Activist Dan Fertig at a protest following Wyatt's release. Wyatt would take his own life a year and a half later. And it was on this date in 1994, Nancy Kerrigan clubbed on the right leg by an assailant.
Relax. Where'd you get that? Your key? Hit you? Let me get married.
Who hit you?
Man, he just ran around that corner there.
A man hit her? Man hit you? And hit her?
That attack ordered by her figure skating rival Tonya Harding on this date in 1994. Mississippi civil rights worker murders Edgar Ray Killian, arrested as a suspect for the 1964 murders of 3 civil rights workers on this date in 2005. And passing away on this date in history, President Theodore Roosevelt, jazz trumpeter Dizzy Gillespie, singer Lou Rawls, from One Day at a Time, Pat Harrington Jr., also writer Peter Bogdanovich, director, producer, screenwriter, and Sidney Poitier, who passed away, both Bogdanovich and Poitier passing away on the same day 1 year ago. This is the birth date of Benjamin Franklin, poet Carl Sandburg, also actor Tom Mix, Loretta Young, actor Danny Thomas, automaker John DeLorean, musician Earl Scruggs, Mel on Alice McTaback, and from One Day at a Time, Bonnie Franklin. Happy birthday number 88 to singer Nino Temple. He did that song, a lot of songs with April Stevens, Deep Purple, their biggest hit. Comedian and actor Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean, 68 today. A couple of wrestlers celebrating birthdays today, both pretty much retired. Jacqueline Moore and Conan, both turning 59 today. Eric Trump, 39, from Saturday Night Live. Kate McKinnon is 39, and from Mad Max Fury Road, Courtney Eaton is 27. Those some of the people celebrating the 6th day of January is their birthday, and if this happens to be your birthday...
Hi, we're the 4 freshmen, and we just want to say... Happy birthday to you!
And on this Friday edition of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we go back 84 years, January 6, 1939, calling all cars and the case of the grass skirt. On this Friday, Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox here on your favorite radio station. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we go back 84 years to January 6, 1939, calling all cars and the case of the grass skirt.
Calling all cars, a copyrighted program created by Rio Grande.
San Francisco Sheriff's Office calling all cars. Attention all cars to broadcast 267 regarding a holdup. Assist the officer. That's all. Rosenquist.
As an example of the splendid cooperation existing between law enforcement bodies, San Francisco City and County are outstanding. We have therefore asked William V. Hollingberry, Under-Sheriff to Sheriff Daniel C. Murphy of San Francisco County, to open our program from the studios of KSFO.
The work done by the police officers in tonight's story would fill an extensive file. It is a typical example of the unsung efforts of those men who have sworn to uphold the law, and of the seldom exploited achievements of the policemen of San Francisco. In the words of Chief Quinn of the San Francisco Police Department, this story is one of the behind-the-scenes labor, pieced together like a never-ending puzzle. The labor that traps the burglar, catches the swindler, and brings punishment to the pickpocket, the shoplifter, the bad check artist, the petty thieves, and all those other swarming creatures of the underworld, whose crimes are too significant to make the headlines. This is a story of the kind that police departments throughout the country are faced with every day. It is a story of the kind of work that is every day convincing criminals that crime is a losing proposition.
small nightclub in San Francisco, two men watch one of the dancers.
What are we waiting over here for? Come on up to the bar and have a drink.
And now wait till Pat finishes doing her hula dance, will you?
Why wait? It ain't stopping me, and it won't stop anything unless she gets another face in a different shape.
Now listen, Marv. Don't talk about my girl that way. She's an artist.
Oh, your girl? Oh, well, maybe she just needs a new skirt.
No, it's this lousy orchestra. They don't give her nothing. Boy, I can just see her among them swaying palms of Goonie.
Yeah, she's doing all right among the swaying stews right here.
That's just it. I'm going to take her away from all this.
Yeah? To Goonie?
No, she ain't a real Hawaiian. She just made up that way.
Oh, yeah?
Pipe down. Here she comes. Now, remember, she thinks I'm a big shot.
Hi, big boy.
Hiya, honey. I want you to meet up with my pal.
Hello, baby. Yeah, that was some dance you was doing. Hey, Bob here thinks you're the nuts.
Oh, I bet that's what you say to all the girls. Anyway, I'm pleased to meet you.
What you doing tonight, honey?
Nothing much. Well, I gotta get dressed. See you later.
Boy, ain't she something. I'd do plenty for that dame.
Yeah, there's plenty of other guys doing things for her. Maybe she's even got a husband that would do a few things to you.
She's got a husband, but that don't matter none.
I get it. You're a big shot, huh? Too bad you can't prove it.
Oh, yeah? Well, maybe I am going to prove it. Just happens that I'm all ready to do some jobs and beat it out of this town. And take Pat with me. She won't even know where I got the money.
Just like that, huh? What about her husband? And where you going to get the gun? And have you got a special permit from the cops?
The cops in this town is too dumb to worry me. Why, we can make monkeys out of them.
Yeah, we look like it if we get stuck in one of their monkey cages.
Listen, they got to catch us first. And we ain't got no record here in Frisco.
Okay, I'll do anything to get back to Shy. But where you going to get a rod?
What does this look like?
Yeah, looks like a toy pistol.
That's just what it is. I got it at the 5 and dime store. But it won't look like a toy when I get done painting it black.
You think it'll work?
Of course it'll work. I'll stay kind of in the background and you wave that pig stick of yours under their snoot and be too scared to look at the gun twice.
Okay, I'm with you. But there's only one angle I don't like.
What's that?
This stick-up business and skirts don't mix. Not even hula skirts. To say nothing of a married hula skirt.
Her husband's a dope. He don't know what it's all about.
Yeah, well, I hope some little boydie don't tell him.
Yeah, we'll give the bird to the cops. Come on. Let's try out our toy gun and see how it works.
Shortly after midnight on October 23rd, 1937, Morris Pontiff was behind the desk of the Almond Hotel on Eddy Street. As he glanced up from his ledger, two men entered the lobby.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Room with a double bed.
Yes, sir. Just sign right here and I'll see what we've got. Well, what price did you want?
We ain't particular. Just give us everything you got.
You mean anything I've got?
We mean everything, buddy. This is a stick-up.
What?
Yeah, come on, get that cash door open or maybe my partner will slit your throat.
Yeah, we don't want to waste no shot on you.
Well, now, don't stab me. Get that knife out of my ribs.
Give us the door and quit chattering.
There isn't much here.
Give us a silver, too.
Yes, sir. Here it is.
Okay. Now, you've been a good boy so far, but...
Yeah, but if you don't keep quiet, my partner will come back here and slug you.
Yes, sir.
24 hours later, almost to the minute, outside a hotel on 4th Street.
Is there anybody in the lobby?
No, just a clerk behind the desk.
Let's go.
Wait a minute. What if one of these here clerks gets stuffed? That toy gun of yours ain't loaded, you know.
They're all too yellow. They get frisky, just tickle them with that pig sticker of yours.
Okay, but if I start running, pal, don't get in me way.
Don't you worry. I'll be too far in front of you. Let's go. Stick 'em up, fella.
Yeah, keep your trap shut if you don't want this knife in your ribs.
Now he's showing good sense. Come on, quit your shaking, buddy. It'll all be over in a few minutes.
Yeah, we won't hurt you unless we have to.
Kind of made me feel bad to have to plug that last guy that thought he was so brave.
You know, I felt bad, too. Maybe he had a wife and kids. He died awful quick. Hey, there ain't much dough in this drawer.
That's okay. We don't want to be greedy. As long as this guy's acting so nice about it and keeping his mouth buttoned.
Yeah, he can see you got a nervous trigger finger. I think he wants to have a good cry. Let's go.
No, he ain't gonna cry. No. Not a big man like him. He's just going to have a little fainting spell.
Well, we'll call a doctor for him when we get far, far away.
Inspectors George O'Leary and William McMahon of the robbery detail made routine investigations. No clues as to the identity of the men were discovered. Then, 4 weeks later, a deluge of small hotel robberies confronted the police. On the night of November 23rd, at the Hotel Barney on Jones Street, Two men enter the lobby.
I see by this little tag on your desk that your name's Robert Brown.
That's right, gentlemen. What can I do for you?
You can do just as we tell you or you get a dose of lead poison.
Well, what do you want?
Where does that door lead to?
The basement.
That's fine, because that's just where you're going, Mr. Brown.
Oh, what are you going to do?
I'm going to lock you down there in the basement in one piece, I hope.
Oh, what do you mean?
I mean, I'm going to cut you up in little pieces and leave you down there if you decide to get frisky.
Oh, no. I won't say anything.
If you do, it'll be your last speech. Here, come on, in you go. Let's see you imitate a mouse. Have you got the dope, Bob?
Yeah, all I can get. Hey, you don't suppose Mr. Brown will starve down there before somebody finds him, do you?
What if he does?
We don't want to do anything to make the cops mad at us.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But this work is getting kind of monotonous. Tiresome.
Yeah, and you was the guy that was afraid it wouldn't work.
It's just too easy. Let's go stick up another joint.
Yeah, now don't get so anxious, will you? We gotta lay low until tomorrow night.
The next night, at the very moment Robert Brown was being interviewed by officers at the Hotel Congress almost around the corner, Harry Drury was mutely standing with hands in the air.
You ain't very sociable, mister.
I'll bet he'd say something if that there gun of yours went off.
Maybe he's just shy.
Yeah, gun shy.
Yeah.
Come on, let's get the money and go.
Now, wait a minute. You wanted some variety. Get that rope over there and tie his hands up.
Jay, anything to be different.
It was real thoughtful of him to have a rope all ready and waiting for us.
It wasn't that. Hold your hands still, buddy.
Okay.
Or you'll be using them to climb up the golden ladder.
Now, don't tie him up so the cops can't figure out how to untie him when they get here.
Well, wouldn't that be terrible?
Ow.
Yeah, shut up. Yeah, that'll hold him for a while. What'll I do with him now?
Make him lay down behind the counter.
Down you go, buddy. He's talking too much. Maybe we ought to gag him.
No. You'll find his tongue when the cops get here. Come on, let's go.
I almost wish somebody'd walk into one of these here lobbies when we're doing the job, just to see what would happen.
Don't tempt our luck. Besides, if something like that happened, I might need a real gun.
Paper City in a reign of terror. Read about the hotel bandits. Paper City in a reign of
Hey, listen to that there dope.
Hotel Knickers. We ain't paid a visit to this hotel before, have we?
No, the name just don't happen to appeal to me.
How many times have I told you we can't be choosy in our line of business?
Well, the place looks awful deserted. Maybe they'd be glad to have our business. Hey, did you bring that rope with you?
Yeah, but anybody going by in the street could see us tying him up. We'll have to take him upstairs.
I hope we get enough out of it to make it worth our trouble. Let's go.
Have you got a room on the second floor?
Oh, yes, indeed, gentlemen. If you'll just sign here.
We'll take a look at the room first.
Certainly. Just come this way, please.
Just keep walking and don't make any noise. This is a gun in your wrist.
A gun? What are you going to do?
We're going to look at the room.
Yeah, and if you try any funny stuff, it'll be the last room you ever showed anybody.
But I don't have any money. It's all in the cash register.
Yeah, thanks for reminding us, Bud. We'll stop up for it on the way out.
Yeah, after we've taken care of you.
Taken care of me? What do you mean?
You'll find out, and make sure the room you show us is empty.
Yes, sir, but why?
Don't want. Open the door. Don't ask no questions.
Yes, sir.
Now, listen, buddy. It'd be bad for the hotel's reputation if somebody got knocked off in this joint, wouldn't it?
Knocked off?
Yeah, knocked off.
Yeah, that's just what's going to happen to anybody that squeals to the cops, see?
You wouldn't dare.
No, we wouldn't. Maybe you'd like to see us show you. Like this.
No, don't. Stop it now, if you please.
I ought to shove your face into the floor just for good measure.
Go ahead and tie him up. Don't waste any time on him.
Okay, but it'll be a lot easier to slit his throat.
That's too messy. If he lets out a yip, I'll just plug him.
If he gets his lily white wrists out of this here nut, boy, he'll be a Houdini.
Oh, no, that hurts.
Now, shut up, will you? I told you I'd let you have it.
Give him a couple of slugs in the stomach. Maybe he'll like it better than this here rope.
No, don't shoot.
Now,
Please
listen,
don't
just one
shoot.
more yelp out of you, and it'll be your last one.
I wish I'd brought some more rope. I like to hang anybody's feet from that there chandelier.
Tie him to the bedpost. That's good enough.
Okay, move over.
I can't.
Move over. I'll kick you over.
Yes,
Come on.
Yes.
Hold your feet
and
still.
that better be some real money in that cash register, or we'll come back and give you a good working over.
Yeah, nothing makes me madder than to go to a lot of trouble like this and for nothing. Yeah. That ought to do him.
Now, come on, we wasted too much time on this dope already.
Remember, buddy, one yelp out of you and we'll come back and make a mess out of you on that there roof. What's the rush, Bum? We got nothing else to do until tomorrow night.
Is there a Mr. Sullivan registered in this hotel?
Sullivan? Sullivan. No, there's nobody by that name here, gentlemen.
Oh, that's all right. Just open up the cash drawer and give us what you got.
Yeah, and make it snappy. We're in a hurry tonight.
Yes. Well, $65 is all I have.
That's all right. Don't apologize. Good night, guys.
Good night, sucker.
January 6, 1939, Calling All Cars on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. The news from 84 years ago is next. Thank you for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station. You're listening to an episode of Calling All Cars, as it was originally broadcast on Friday, January 6, 1939. In the newspapers of that Friday, 84 years ago, these were some of the headlines. President Roosevelt proposed another year of large-scale federal spending yesterday when he estimated he would lift the gross public debt to an all-time high of $44,458 million. This indebtedness, which he predicted would reach unless moderate tax increases were imposed to pay for the enlarged armament program and farm subsidies, which Congress authorized last year, would be within about $500 million of the limit allowed by present law. It was expected generally that Roosevelt would ask Congress later to raise this limitation on the grounds that the government should be free to meet any unforeseen emergency. Harvard's noted liberal professor Felix Frankenfurter, outspoken champion of the view that the Constitution is an elastic document framed to meet the changing needs of a changing society, appointed to the Supreme Court yesterday by President Roosevelt. The Senate immediately made it unmistakably apparent that it would confirm the nomination. With some exceptions, senators of all political and economic faiths applauded the appointment and praised the little professor for his legal and scholarly attainments. 7 officials of the Continental Credit Corporation of Winchester, Indiana, and associated firms convicted of mail fraud, which the government contended resulted in a loss of $1.2 million to Midwestern banks and business houses, received prison sentences yesterday, ranging from 1.5 years to 7 years. Charges that the Radio Corporation of America had lost $500 million through fraud and negligence by past and present officers and directors were on file yesterday in the Supreme Court of New York. 3 minor stockholders, demanding restoration of any funds illegally taken from the RCA Treasury, made the charges in suits disclosed Wednesday when they asked for consolidation of the separate complaints for a single trial. That according to Justice Aaron J. Levy, who reserved decisions. Besides corporate officials, the General Electric Company, Westinghouse Electric and Manufacturing Company, and the American Telephone and Telegraph Company were named in the complaints, charged with receiving improper payments from RCA. Members of the Senate Unemployment Committee agreed informally to attempt to earmark the future distribution of federal funds with a formula in which would strip the Works Progress Administration of virtually all discretion in the allocations of state quotas. Colonel Charles A. Lindbergh has given government officials a confidential report on Germany's air strength. Army officers declined to confirm receipt of the document, but it was assumed that Lindbergh submitted it voluntarily. The famous aviator still retains his commission in the U.S. Army Air Corps Reserve despite his 3-year residence in Europe. He accepted a 5-year renewal of the commission in the fall of 1937. President Roosevelt said today the Justice Department has undertaken an investigation of alleged violations of the criminal statutes by Nazis, communists, and certain other organizations in this country. The president told a press conference Attorney General Murphy had informed him of this effect by letter. And those some of the day's top news stories, as reported in the newspapers of Friday, January 6th, 1939, on your radio, Calling All Cars. The conclusion next on this Friday, Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. On Saturday's Classic Radio Theater, The Second Class Passenger, starring Parley Bear, an episode of Escape from 75 years ago, January 7th, 1948. The tale of an ordinary tourist on a cruise ship who finds a beautiful woman, murder, and a fight in the back alleys of Mozambique. That's coming up on Saturday's Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. But now the conclusion of Calling All Cars, January 6, 1939, 84 years ago today.
Hey, how you doing with a hula skirt, Bob?
So well. She knows I'm a big shot now.
Yeah, does she know how you're getting all this, Jack?
No, she never will know. And neither will the cops.
Meantime, at police headquarters, Captain of Inspectors Delea calls a conference with Inspectors McMahon and Butts.
I've called you fellows in here for a little conference on this hotel bandit situation. They pulled 4 jobs in the last 4 days, 6 all told. It's beginning to give me a headache.
Me too. Who do those guys think they are? Jesse James the second and third?
I don't care who they think they are. I'm interested in who we think they are. You got any ideas, Butts?
I think they're just a couple of punks that have been lucky so far.
Well, they're amateurs, all right. They walk in and out of a hotel in plain sight of anybody that might be going by and leave fingerprints all over the place.
Yeah, fingerprints that we have no record of in the files. That's just it. They're smart enough to know we can't get a line on them in the usual ways.
Oh, I don't know. Only a couple of saps would think they were smart to get away with stuff like this.
And we've checked prisons up and down the coast for paroled and discharged convicts. Got no leads from that. Every hotel clerk in San Francisco has complete descriptions of them. We've got patrol cars in the downtown hotel district looking for them.
It's a funny case, all right. We know what they look like, how they work, and everything about them except who they are.
Well, they'll pull a boner sooner or later. That'll give us a lead on them. They always do.
Oh, we'll get them, but I'm afraid they'll walk into a hotel some night, get into a jam, and start shooting.
The knife business is a funny angle. Why don't they both use guns? Doesn't make sense.
And as soon as they start operating in a way that makes sense, we'll have them.
Well, if they're as dumb as I think they are, they're going to pull a lot of jobs first.
Well, the more jobs, the surer we are to get them. But I'd sleep a lot better tonight if I knew where they are right now.
Your hula dancer looks kind of tired tonight, Bob. She dances like she's only got a couple of more shakes in it.
Yeah, I know. She ain't putting her soul into it.
Well, maybe she's homesick for that there Cooney.
No, that ain't it. This dive is getting her down.
Listen, I thought we were going to get a steak and clear out of this here town. But what do? You spend it all on a dizzy hula skirt.
Can I help it if I'm in love? Hey, Scram, here she comes. I want to talk to her.
Don't worry, I'm going, but I'm telling you, you're going to get nabbed on account of that skirt.
Scram, will you?
Hi, Big Shot.
Hiya, baby. Come on over here. Hey, you look all in, honey.
Yeah. This joint's getting me down.
I know how it is. High-class babe like you ought to be in a more uplifting joint than this.
You say the sweetest things. No wonder I'm nuts about you.
No kidding, babe. Are you?
Sure I am. But how can I tell you in a dump like this? Why, every time a guy buys a drink, he thinks a blade of my grass skirt should go with it.
That's what I want to talk to you about.
What, the grass skirt?
No. I'm an honorable guy. I want to take you away from all this. I do things in a big way. With me, it's the whole or nothing.
You still talking about the skirt?
Quit your kidding. Let's me and you get out of this town.
But what about Clarence, my husband?
Oh, nuts to Clarence.
Now, Bob, I wouldn't do nothing to hurt Clarence. He's a nice guy.
So he's a nice guy.
But he ain't a big shot.
Okay, what are you going to do?
Well, Clarence has talked about getting some money together so he could go to Oregon.
Think nothing more of it, babe. I'll throw enough dough in his lap to take him to Alaska. It'll take me a couple of weeks, but it's as good as done.
Gee, what a guy. What's your line anyhow, Bob?
Oh, I'm in the hotel business. I go from one to another and sort of give the clerks a little going over, you know.
What do you mean?
Well, they don't know me, see? They think I'm a customer, so I check up on them. You see they don't get sassy or out of line like that, you know.
That's a swell job.
Yeah, I can transfer to Chicago just like that.
Well, I'm with you, if you can get Clarence to give me the okay.
Now, listen, babe. I'm a very persuasive guy. I got a style all my own. Oh, that reminds me. I got to do some work yet tonight.
Okay. I'll be seeing you, Big Shot.
Goodbye, honey.
In the next few days, 4 hotels and a drugstore were looted by the same bandits. Then, on November 30th, Talbert Cannon, night clerk at the Apex Hotel, was reading a police circular describing the bandits as 2 men approached. Recognizing them, his hand went to a Luger automatic hidden beneath the desk.
Good evening, gentlemen. You wish to register?
Yeah, with this.
This is a stick-up. Come on, get out of here.
Yeah? Well, what does this look like?
Why, you... try to shoot us, will you? I might crack your skull, wise guy.
Yeah, take his gut and drill him, Bob.
No, it'd make too much noise. Give me a hand and we'll lock him in that closet.
Okay. Boy, that was a close shave. It's a lucky thing for us his gun didn't fire.
Yeah, the safety catch must have been on.
I told you one of those clerks would get fresh some night.
Well, from now on, we'll have this automatic to talk back to him with. Come on, dump him in there.
Okay. Let's get the don't get out of here. I need a drink.
Yeah, me too, and I feel a lot easier not having to depend on a toy gun anymore.
With 9 consecutive holdups that left the city gasping, Captain of Inspectors Delia again conferred with a dozen members of the robbery detail. The available facts were analyzed, and shortly afterwards, Inspectors McMahon and Fred Butts were speeding across town.
Your hunch was right about these monkeys getting bloodthirsty.
Yeah. Next time is liable to be murder. This drugstore they stuck up. It's just a hunch, but it may lead to something.
Yeah, that was funny. 16 hotel stick-ups and 1 drugstore.
When a thug gets out of his regular line, he usually makes a slip. I certainly hope this drugstore job was it.
And don't we all? Well, here's 6th Street. The store is right around the corner.
Right in the small hotel district.
It's a little place. We sure don't go after anything big.
Yes, sir?
We're from headquarters. We'd like to know if you can tell us anything about the men that held you up beside what you gave us in the report.
Well, let me see now. You know, there was something queer about those 2 that I forgot to mention.
Yeah?
What was that?
Why, those fellas have been in the store several times before. I sure was surprised when they pulled a gun on me.
Maybe they were looking the place over.
No, I don't think so. A couple of times they seemed to come from across the street. I figured they were living near here.
Well, across the street.
This was the slip they made, Fred. Come on, we're going to check every hotel in this block.
I've been waiting for this.
Fred, I think our hotel bandits have pulled their last job. I'm going to ask Chief Quinn for 100 men to cover every hotel in the district.
Do you think they'll shoot it out?
I almost hope they'll try to. Robbery detail, McMahon speaking. Oh, hello, Merrick. Any of the boys had any luck? They what? Registered there in the same names? Stick there. We'll be right over.
I'll bet there are more coppers in this hotel than there are guests.
We've been here over an hour. I sure hope they don't decide to change hotels again. Wait a minute.
Regent Hotel? Yes, I'll give him the message.
Was that one of them?
Yes. I don't know which one. He left a message for his partner.
What was it?
Meet me at the Blue Grotto.
Blue Grotto, that's a nightclub over on Mason Street. Come on, Fred. So you're the hostess here at the Blue Grotto. Do you recognize the descriptions we've given you?
Guys like that usually stick to one spot. You must have seen them lots of times.
Well...
Come on. You've got nothing to lose.
Well, yes, I know them both. Pat Williams, one of our dancers here, is in love with Bob McGee.
Well, it'll be a break for her to find out what kind of a guy he is.
Well, you're too late. Pat eloped with Bob to Chicago. They took the 9 o'clock ferry to Oakland to connect with the train.
It's 7 minutes after 9 right now. If we average 70 over the bridge, we'll meet the boat coming in. And if we don't pick 'em up there, we'll be back. Well, we're back again, lady. What's the idea of giving us a bum steer like that? They weren't on the boat and they weren't on the train. You better quit stalling, because if you're trying to protect
I'm
them...
not. Honestly. That's what Pat told me.
Okay. Maybe they decided to spend their honeymoon here in San Francisco. Maybe they couldn't wait till they got to Chicago. Where does Pat Williams live?
She's been living with her husband.
Her husband?
No use looking for a honeymoon there.
Well, there's nothing else to do now but go visit the husband. Maybe he'll be willing to talk.
Did you ever see one that wouldn't?
Not yet.
He lives on the 900 block on Golden Gate Avenue. I don't know the exact number.
That's close enough. If we scare the guy enough, maybe he'll give you something to work on.
I told you those guys were dumb. I knew it would turn into a triangle case. It never fails.
Well, this is the last apartment on the 900 block. Begins to look like that dame gave us the wrong steer again.
Let's see. Smith, Monahan, Pacheco, Peckworth, Smith, Williams. Hey, wait a minute. Here it is. Clarence Williams, number 295.
All right, men. There's no telling what's going to happen, so get your guns out and be ready for anything.
You don't think both of the guys are spending a honeymoon with her, do you?
I don't know, and I don't care. Now, the apartment should be right at the top of these stairs.
We can't help thinking we're all getting excited about nothing. Husband must be as dumb as the rest of them. And if he is, we're not going to get any place.
Quiet. 295, this is the one. Listen, there's somebody talking in there. Listen.
Hey, Clarence, listen, I'm trying to explain something to you. Why don't you listen to me so you'll understand what I'm trying to tell you, Clarence? Pat and me are in love with each other. Can't you understand something like that?
So what? She's been in love with lots of guys, even me.
Oh, but this is different, Clarence.
Oh, yeah, it's always different.
You just don't understand, Clarence. Pat here has got a soul. She needs to be free. I want to see her in a joint where the guys will buy her champagne instead of rot-gut liquor.
Yeah, I'm sick of doing the hula. A fan dance is much more elegant.
A fan dance? You know what happened the one time you tried it.
Yeah, that's just it. The guys around that place is crude. They don't know no better.
That's right, Clarence. Bob and me want to go to Chicago and start life all new.
New? You mean all nude?
Ah, you see, Bob. Clarence just ain't got no appreciation of art.
Who's this art guy? That's...
Now, how do you like that? Well, maybe he's got some appreciation of this. Do you see these bills, Clarence?
Mm-hmm.
They're all 20s and 50s. How would you like it if they was all yours?
Say, that's real money. If it's not hot, how come you're messing around with my wife?
There you are, Pat. How can I talk to a guy that ain't used to associating with big shots?
Well, he just ain't never seen that much money before. Give him a chance, will you?
Okay. Now listen, Clarence. I'll take it slow and easy. You wanted a stake to get to Oregon. Well, here it is. Now what more do you want?
Well, that means I have to go up alone, huh? My wife don't go with me.
Well, what do you think I am, a Santa Claus?
Well, I'd hate to tell you what I thought you were.
Now, wait a
Clarence,
minute.
don't get nasty. It ain't gonna get you no place. Bob here's a big shot, and he can do things for me.
Okay, I guess I know when I'm licked.
Now you're talking sense. This here is the easiest dough you ever made in your life.
Yeah, I guess it is at that. Well, if it hadn't been you, it'd have been some other guy. I seen this coming.
Okay, here's the dough. Now, Pat, you and me'll catch the late train to Chicago.
It's okay by me, big shot.
What's that? Probably my laundry.
What? Don't you know who's coming to see you?
Nobody ever comes to see me. They come to see Pat.
Nobody was coming to see me.
It's the cops. I know it is. I should have got out of here long ago.
Get your hands up,
Cops,
everybody.
keep the cops.
You, step out here.
No, don't shoot me. Don't shoot.
All right, frisk him, Fred. Now, where's your partner, buddy? We've been looking for you for some time.
He ain't here.
Are you going to talk or aren't you?
Yeah. I'll talk.
Here's a Luger automatic, Bill. Fully loaded.
Uh-huh. Got that from the Apex Hotel clerk. Say, you were going to leave for Chicago tonight, huh?
Yeah. When I seen the headline in the paper that said the cops was going to shoot to kill the hotel bandits, I got kind of scared.
Yeah, take a look at your big shot now, Pat.
Who are you?
Well, I ain't know, but I'm just Pat's husband.
Yeah, they didn't have nothing to do with me or my partner. They're just friends.
Yeah, officer. We was just casual acquaintances. I met Bob here in the nightclub, and he just sort of dropped around.
Yeah, so we heard.
Well, where's your partner?
He's at the Black Hotel in Oakland. His name's Marvin Thomas.
Okay, Fred, take the boys and go get him.
Yeah, but what's going to become of me?
Well, dig out the grass skirt, sister. You've got just a half an hour to make that first show.
Thomas was taken into custody in Oakland, and the two bandits were found guilty and sentenced to spend terms of 5 years to life in San Quentin, where they will learn most conclusively that crime does not pay.
San Francisco Sheriff's Office calling all cars, attention all cars, to cancellation of broadcast 267 regarding a holdup. Suspects in this case are now in custody. That's all. Rosenquist.
This is your narrator, Frederick Lindsley, bidding you good night for Rio Grande.
From 84 years ago, January 6, 1939, Calling All Cars on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thanks for making us a part of your day. Please thank this station, support their advertisers. It's their kindness and courtesy that allow us to be with you each and every time we roll around here on your favorite station. Miss a day, you don't have to miss a single show. All of our shows available on demand at classicradio.stream. That's classicradio.stream. Stream our shows, learn about building a classic radio collection of your own. You can contact me there. You can find our social media links. And if you like, you can buy me a copy. That Buy Me a Coffee money helps us acquire additional classic radio theater collections. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please tell all your friends. The great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station. Have a great weekend.